They call me solid as a freight train, steady on a broken track. Said I'll never let the pressure put a fracture in my back. I wore that like a medal, like a title I defend. Didn't know that being unbreakable means you never get to bend. I learned to bite my tongue in anger, learned to swallow down my fear. Turned every doubt into a burden I could carry year by year. When the nights got long and empty, when the walls felt paper thin, I told myself that weakness was a battle you don't win. But strength without reflection turns a heart into a stone. You can stand against the world and still be overthrown. Do you know what it costs to be unbreakable? Every tear I never cried, every truth I kept inside, every time I said I'm fine when I wasn't even close. Yeah, that was a price, that was a cost. I had a brother in all but blood. We built our lives from scratch. Swore we never fold the pressure, swore no one would see us crack. But I watched him fade in silence, watched him carry more than pride. Turns out pretending you're invincible is just a slower suicide. That hit me harder than the winners that we used to curse out loud, harder than the layups, harder than the shame I vowed I would never show my children, never let them see. But what kind of father teaches breaking isn't free? Maybe being breakable is something to pursue. Maybe being human is the braver thing to do. Maybe letting people hold you when the weight gets high is stronger than pretending you were never meant to cry. Do you know what it costs to be unbreakable? All the warmth I pushed away, all the nights I couldn't stay present in the room I'm in, 'cause surviving was the goal. Yeah, that was a price, that was a toll. So I'm setting down the armor, let the cracks show through. If strength is telling truth at last, then that's what I'll do. I don't need to be unbreakable to prove that I'm alive. I just need to be honest to finally survive. I left home with a tank half empty and a heart too full to stay. Sunset bleeding on the dashboard like it knew I'd fade away. Mama's Bible on the backseat, dust already on the page. I was chasing something holy, found a different kind of cage. factories that never sleep, metal sparks and broken promises stacked like secrets I couldn't keep. Every paycheck felt like mercy, every layoff like a sin. You learn quick in this cold world how the losing always wins. They say a man is what he builds, but what if all he builds just falls? What if strength is just surviving when nobody hears your call? The long road knows my name, every mile, every shame. It's seen me rise, it's seen me crawl, heard my silent scream through it all. I gave my youth to the pouring rain, to pride and love, to stubborn pain. Yeah, the long road knows my name. Loved a girl in Oklahoma, she had heaven in her laugh. But I carried storms behind me, and she felt the aftermath. She said, you don't know how to rest, you just run from what you feel. I told her stillness scares me more than any wine that doesn't heal. Now I drink with old reflections in a bar off Highway 9. We talk about the men we were, like ghosts we left behind. The jukebox plays a lonely tune about redemption and regret. I tip the singer with my last few bills for every dream I never met. If I could talk to my younger self, I wouldn't change a thing. Every scar became my compass, every fall taught me to sing. Not loud, not proud, but low and true, like a blues man passing through. The long road knows my name, knows the fire, knows the flame, knows the nights I almost broke, knows the lies I never spoke. Through every loss and small acclaim, through grit and grace and quieted blame. Yeah, the long road knows my name. And when my boots start walking, when my breath turns slow and tame, carve it deep into that stone. He walked alone, but he became. I was born on a Sunday morning under a sky that looked half broken. Mama said, boy, the world won't want you. before it leaves your spirit smoking. Daddy's hands were hard as iron, voice like thunder in a tin roof rain. He said, stand tall when the fire comes, but never showed me how to handle pain. 17 with a restless hunger, chasing highways with a borrowed name. Every town felt 6 feet under, every victory tasted the same. Cheap motels and colder pillows, neon lights and unpaid dues. I shook hands with men in shadows, learned how quick a dream can bruise. You don't see the cracks at first, they hide beneath your grin, but every loss leaves a little smoke settling under your skin. There's smoke beneath the skin from all the wars I never win. I carry quiet deep within, like a scar that won't give in. Life don't break you loud and clean, it burns slow where you've been. Yeah, there's smoke beneath the skin. I loved a woman with wildfire eyes. She danced like freedom in the dark. Said I was too full of goodbyes, too much night inside my heart. She left one note on the kitchen table, said you fight ghosts, I cannot see. I watched her tail lights fade to nothing, like the best parts of me. Now I sit with a glass of bourbon, watching silence fill the room. Every mirror tells the truth, every truth feels like a wound. If redemption's just a story, I'm still reading every line, trying to turn this weight of mine saw him in a photograph, 17 and wide-eyed brave, standing on a rusted truck, like the world was his to save. He believed in straight lines and justice clear and clean. He thought that doing right was all it took to win. He didn't know about compromise, about choosing lesser wrongs, about swallowing your conscience just to keep your job that long. He didn't know that fear can dress itself as pride, or how a man can lose his way while saying he's just trying to survive. I used to think I left him somewhere on that road, but every quiet night I feel what I still owe. I owe a debt to my younger self, to the fire in his chest, to the way he looked at truth like it deserved his best. Somewhere between the bills and doubt, I let that flame grow dim. Now I'm trying to be the man he believed I'd be back then. There were nights I chose the easy path, signed my name and looked away, told myself it wasn't my fight, told myself that's just the way. But I can hear him asking, is this who we became? Is comfort worth the cost of trading courage for a name? He didn't have much money, didn't know much about pain, but he had a kind of clarity I've been trying to regain. Not innocence, just honesty, not reckless, just sincere. The kind of strength that stands alone without the need for fear. Maybe growing older ain't about getting wise. Maybe it's remembering the truth before the skies. Maybe redemption isn't loud or written in a book. Maybe it's facing who you are when you finally take a look. I owe a debt to my younger self, and I'm paying it tonight by saying what I mean out loud, by choosing what is right. No more hiding in excuses, no more numbing him with doubt. If I can't be who he hoped I'd be, then what's this life about? So here's to that 17-year-old with dirt upon his boots. You were naive, you were stubborn, but you were rooted in the truth. I can't give you back your innocence, can't undo where I fell, but I can walk the road ahead in a way you know me well. think forgiveness was a weakness in disguise, like lowering your weapon in a world of alibis. So I held on to my anger like it proved that I was right, fed it like a furnace through every sleepless night. I kept a list of every wound, every slight, every scar, like justice was a ledger I was meant to guard. The bitterness is heavy, it don't just wound the blame, it settles in the keeper till he's barely the same. You can win 100 arguments and still lose who you are. You can guard your heart like prison walls and never see that you're the bar. It was the mercy I denied that hardened me inside. Every grace I wouldn't give was something in me that died. I thought strength meant holding on, never letting tears collide, but I was building my own cage with the mercy I denied. There was a brother I stopped calling over pride, too small to name, to a stubborn man in size, playing different sides of blame. Years rolled on like thunder, we pretended not to care, but distance grows like ivy when nobody attends the prayer. Then I heard he'd been struggling, fighting demons I couldn't see, and all the words I could have spoken came crashing back on me. I saw how my righteousness was just fear in better clothes, and how love untended is the first thing that corrodes. Mercy ain't surrender, it ain't pretending it's okay, it's choosing not to weaponize the pain from yesterday. It's saying I was wrong without a shield to hide. It's opening the locked up door you swore you'd keep inside. 'Cause the mercy I denied was the mercy I needed most. The grace I wouldn't offer was the grace that healed the ghost. Now I'm learning to lay down this old defensive pride, 'cause freedom lives beyond the mercy I denied. So if I call you late tonight and my voice is low and wide, it ain't regret alone you hear. There's something softer inside, a man unlearned in armor, letting truth be his guide, finally finding strength in the mercy he denied. on I'm alright. On handshakes firm and jaws held tight. Front porch talks that never went deep. Promises we couldn't keep. He'd sit there staring at the field, like something in him wouldn't yield. I wanted to ask what weight is mine, but we left those questions behind. Sunday mornings pressed and clean, living somewhere in between. What we felt and what we'd show, what we feared they never know. He taught me how to change a tide, how to stand up in the fire, but not how to admit the truth when the flame is coming from you. There's a language in the quiet, in the pauses in the air. And sometimes what we don't say is heavier than despair. Here's the things we never said that echo in my head. Oh, the son, I'm proud of you. Oh, that I was scared too. We buried them instead. Now they live inside my chest. Yeah, the things we never said. The names we never said. The last time that I saw him, hospital light on pale white skin, machines humming soft and low, like a hymn we didn't know. I stood there with 1,000 words stacked up behind my teeth, but pride's a stubborn inheritance we carry to our grief. After they laid him in the ground, after the crowd thinned out, I felt the silence settle in, heavy, full of doubt. Not about the love we had that was always there, but love that's never spoken feels thinner in the air. So now when I feel anger rise, I feel myself withdraw. I see his shadow in my shade, I see the flaw, and I choose a different ending, even when it shakes. Cause breaking generational silence is the bravest step it takes. It's the things we never said that almost left us dead. All the truths we could have shared, all the times we could have cared out loud instead. I won't pass that weight ahead, not the things we never said. If I ever have a son and he's sitting across from me, I'll tell him when I'm scared, I'll tell him when I'm weak, not to burden him with pain, but to give him something real. Cause strength ain't silent suffering. is saying what you feel.